Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to an experimental show run by Yegwen. Tonight on Yegwen's show TV program to start with, we have the game number 3, the third best game casted tonight will be MC loved by crowds. He's the red Protoss in the bottom left side of the map. Metropolis, if I'm not mistaken, I always confuse that. And on the other side, we have a guy that has made a name for himself recently. He's also, he's one of the guys who can really face players like MC. He's Polt, so give a shot to Polt. Now, alright, so we already start with Polt doing, a part of a wall off. I can expect the barracks and another supply depot here to prevent the MC from any scouting. Now, the thing I really wonder about is what MC will do this game, because MC is like a Korean special tactics master, and he can come up with some really brilliant strategies. So I just want to see how this time will he be trying to disarm his opponent. What Polt does is barracks, so no proxy barracks here, and that's just a shame. We saw how much these proxy barracks can change in a game. The last game, Puma versus Creator, that was something. These proxy barracks and sniping down of the Nexuses and the expansion, that was something, and it has changed the game incredibly and making it into a long-term, long-distance game. Now MC has went with some really fast scout and he got to his opponent's base before a wall of is sealed, so Polt will be having issues. He'll be having trouble with MC right now because MC just saw what Polt is doing. He saw that there are not too many gases out here, there are no gases, and MC made a very good conclusion. Okay, I can go for an expansion. So he went for an early expansion even before he went for a gateway, which is indicating he's really he's really sure of himself. So Polt right here, he'll probably be going for a very fast expansion as well. Yeah, we see that coming down, but he'll be trying to prevent MC from seeing that, which he just did. Yeah, he killed that probe, so no, sorry MC, won't be seeing much of this expansion anymore. On the other hand, Polt is doing his own scouting in MC's base, and he saw that one gas and one gateway. He can, you can kind of expect what will be happening next, right? You can see that cybernetic skull coming. You don't really see two gates openings against Terran, but that's nothing to worry about. Wow! But Polt does a bunker. It's a fake bunker, only there to make his opponent come here and try to waste some mining time. And yeah, the bunker will be cancelled. How? It didn't get cancelled, did it? No, the bunker didn't get cancelled, so Polt, a huge misstep at this stage of the game, losing a bunker to a couple of probes. Now, that's not something you see very often, and these three Marines are just ashamed of their general and heading back in the general direction of their own base. Now, he's also doing a bunker here, so he'll be able to better protect himself. This map really works good for bunker in this place. Normally you see Terrans doing bunker around here, between the command center and the ramp, so they can protect from all the angles. But Polt is doing a bunker in the middle of this choke, and that's a really good choice because he can cover most of the attacking ground for that his enemy may choose as an attack path. On the other side of the map we have two Zealots, we have Warp Gate technology. Wow! This game gets so surprising, but also we get a Stalker and probably a Sentry quite quickly. Now the question is, what sort of a strategy will MC go for? We have 2 additional gateways, okay, 3 additional gateways. Will there be more? 2 additional gateways once, 3 additional gateways twice, and it's sold for 3 additional gateways. Now, I'm wondering, will MC try to go for something like robotic facility? He should probably. Most of Protosses want to go for robotic facility just for the safety of it, and they are then able to produce an observer and scout what the heck is going on in the enemy's base, but we don't see that yet from MC. Maybe he'll go for a faster Twilight Council. That's a way how you can get faster Archons or just High Templars with Storm. But I'm not sure how that will work out in this matchup, so we'll see. We'll have to wait and see what Polt does, what MC does. Polt, of course, goes for siege tanks, which is kind of weird, because in the early game the siege tanks are just so good. The 1-1-1 push is still being ranked as one of the most impossible to defend pushes in the game right now, done by Terran. But no, siege tanks in the later game are just easy to snipe by Immortals and Blink Stalkers potentially. Well, let's just see how this works against MC, because it may just work good against this player. He has lots and lots of Stalkers, and Stalkers do take additional damage from the siege tanks, and MC is trying to make his way with a push. He had a couple of seconds there where the siege technology wasn't finished yet, and now it's finished. We have tanks sieging up. One of the bunkers will fall down, but he will soon notice, oh my goodness, I'm under the attack from siege tanks from the high ground. So well, MC makes the good choice and just gets back with his army. Now what he probably should try to do is to prevent his opponent from taking the third, and he also took his own third, so that's all real goodness. Will he be able to protect it for a long while? That's a question that remains to be answered. But yes, so far he's in a better shape than Polt is. Let's just see what the guys do. We have a robotic facility after all, we have an observer on the way, and we have more and more gateways. 8 gateways it is in total. Now, do we have any upgrades? No, we don't have Blink, we don't have forges, we don't have any sort of upgrades for these units. I'm not quite sure what MC is going for here, but I'm sure it will be legendary. Now let's just see. He has Stalkers around the map. He also builds his Immortals. That's good. He needs Immortals against siege tanks, and well, from 8 gateways you can get a very decent amount of units, in fact, but I'm not sure that's a strategy you would like to go for when playing against Terran. The 8 gates is a rather good all-in against Zerg, but I would imagine against Terran it will not be so easy to pull it off. But we saw MC doing weirder and even weirder stuff, so why not? Let's just allow him to try this. And we have a robotic bay going down, so we'll be having Colossi. And I just know that MC's army isn't impressive right now. Polt has a much better army. He may want to go for another expansion here. Yeah, he is indeed going for one more expansion. Now the question is, will Polt try to push with what he has? With 2 medivacs, splitting his army in half, doing perhaps 1 attack for each base with some siege tank pressure, that could work really nice for him. Of course, MC knows which direction this is coming from. He tries to, wow, a really nice move with his Stalkers. He focused one of the medivacs. Siege tanks are focused out of the position because he doesn't want to attack from that position, but he doesn't have much of a choice. 2 Immortals should do the trick, should just be enough, and we have nice beautiful force fields splitting the army in half, focusing the siege tanks. The rest of the army is dealing damage to what Polt has remaining. All of the siege tanks are down, and now MC is just chasing off the remains of Polt. He may want to focus one of the medivacs. He just by accident picked the one that is nearly full. I'm sure Polt wasn't happy about that, but he wouldn't dare call MC a map hacker. So MC can rest sure with his conscience clear. Right, so Polt now is he's in a vulnerable shape. He took this fast expansion. He was hoping to hide it behind his aggression, and he kinda did. He kinda hid that behind his aggression, but not as well as he should. That aggression should have done a lot more damage, but MC, fantastic force fields, fantastic decision making during the battle, and just has caught his enemy off guard. So now the question is, will Polt be able to snipe out this Nexus? That may be a fact. My goodness, this Nexus goes down so fast, and MC is out of position, and yes, MC loses his third base. A big blunder to MC right now. Polt has just made it his way back to the top, and he's not stopping. He's sending reinforcements across the map. He's sending reinforcements here. Not sure that splitting his army is such a good idea against MC, but he may go for something like drops from one side and just showing off your army from the other to lure the enemy into going after you. Right, so we have a drop with two medivacs here, but lots of zealots are there on the spot with some stalkers. That's just enough what he needs to defend this. And on the other hand, there is one or two medivacs getting sniped. Not so good for Polt, even though he was on top. He was wow! My goodness, MC is back on top with a lot of supply difference. Polt is trying to catch up, but it is only catching up. A really smart drop in the back of the base. MC wasn't kind of prepared for that. He will lose most of the zealots. He has also lost the Atos, this pylon that was supporting these structures, and Polt will be taking a huge lead in terms of killed workers. 17 killed workers, a really nice score. He even ignores these stalkers finishing off the workers. Now MC, as you can see, is pushing from a different direction. Now I don't know if this force field has done more good to MC or Polt, but it is there. We cannot dispute about that, and Polt is having real trouble. But now MC's army, just the position isn't good enough, and it is getting chased off by Polt. He didn't even manage to cancel that pylon, and Polt will be finishing off two of MC's Colossi. Did you even see workers? Did you ever see workers finishing off a Colossi? I just did, and so did you, so you can be proud of yourself. We have MC that has rebuilt his third base. The same can be said for Polt. He also has a third base working, and well, mainly thanks to the battle that just happened on our eyes, Polt is back in the game with a huge supply lead, and MC doesn't look that scary anymore. Now, I wonder what went wrong with that battle. I think that MC just, well, these force fields were good, but Polt had army all across his bases, so if he had only, you know, the main army here, and that force field would cut off all of it, that would be good for MC, but then he was attacked from all sides, and it just gave Polt a better angle to attack. So, well, what can you do? That's just life, it happens. Right, we also have these Vikings in the front. Yep, he's aware that MC has Colossi, so what would he do except of the Vikings? Also doing +3 and 3 attack, that's really good. MC is far behind with the upgrades, 2-2 right now, not so good. Ooh, an observer gets sniped out, a really good move by Polt, even though he doesn't have that much of an army here. He again, he tries to split his army in a couple of smaller armies, like he's doing like guerrilla attack. So he's attacking from a couple of sides, not too much, doesn't dedicate full of his army to either of these, but forces his opponent to dance between the bases, and now he'll be getting Whoa, he'll be getting both of the forges. That's a really good damage dealt here. He could just back off right now, but no, he doesn't. Polt is really angry. He's really lusty for victory right here, so he gets inside his opponent's base, and MC is in a drastic position to defend. Of course, his army makes his way across the map, but Polt also tries to pull it off, get it away from his main army, so he can deal most. Did you notice that Polt is dealing most of his damage right here, while this army in here just lose the opponent off, and we have GG from MC, which means Polt has taken the game with fantastic unit control and with fantastic tactics that he showed, a really good map awareness, the awareness of where his opponent keeps his army. And well, what can I say? That was just a really nice game to watch. That was game number 3. We have 2 more to go for today, so I'm really anxious to see what Rainbow has picked for the game number 2. So I'll be back with you in a second. Just let me check with you on the chat if everything's fine, and we'll cast another game. So be right back.